The following presentation is a production of Ride the Wave Media.
Welcome to Let Yourself Bloom, the podcast where motherhood and ambition coexist beautifully. I'm your host, Jen Banks, and in each episode, we'll dive deep into the journey of being more than a mom. Here, we believe that you can love your children deeply and still have room to nurture your own dreams. Picture this, a life where you don't have to choose between career and family, where you can be inspired by stories of women who have boldly stepped into their dual roles. Together, we'll explore how to balance, grow, and thrive in every season of life. Our guests will share their personal stories of finding identity beyond motherhood, proving that you can hold both your family and your ambitions in your heart. We'll talk about the seasons of life, embracing our unique paths, and giving ourselves permission to bloom whenever we're ready. Whether you're a working mom of two or dreaming of a bigger family, whether you're a stay-at-home mom seeking more or a career-driven woman balancing the chaos, this podcast is for you. Listen in and let the stories, advice, and community support you in becoming the fullest version of yourself. Tune in, be inspired, and remember, you are worthy of the same love and care you give to others. Welcome to Let Yourself Bloom. Let's grow together. Welcome back to the Let Yourself Bloom podcast. Today, we will be talking all about your innate strengths. This goes along with chapter 1 of my book. I'm going to walk you through how to identify or uncover your unique strengths. To do that, I will begin with an example from my life. In May of 2018, I decided that I was going to make a goal to learn 50 songs on the piano. I grew up playing the violin, so the right hand on the piano comes very easily and naturally to me. The left hand needs a lot of work. It's almost as if I'm a beginner. I have to use the staff and count up each note. I really have to practice and hone my memory skills and learning skills to really get that left hand to work for me. I spent nearly a year working to get those 50 songs learned. And you know what? I didn't make it. I made it to about 32. But that is 32 more songs on the piano than I would have known had I not set the goal. I then began my journey of motherhood and had kids that were vying for my attention and spare time. I hear that you have about 13 minutes of spare time as a parent, and I think that's absolutely true. But that experience definitely gave me insight into some of my core strengths. One of them being determination. I was really committed to that goal, which then made me practice and do all the things that I could do to reach my goal. I also developed patience. Took so much time to practice and learn and relearn songs. Once you learn something, it doesn't mean you automatically have it. You have to keep practicing, keep that skill strong. I also really used the skill of resilience. It was hard to learn those songs. I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. But over time, as I stuck to it, I strengthened my resilience. I am now going to walk you through how to identify some core strengths or innate strengths. First, I want you to visualize. Think back to a moment when you truly felt proud. It doesn't have to be big. It could be very small, but it's something that brings a deep sense of fulfillment. Once you have that in your mind, or if you need to pause it to have more time to think, I want you to notice, what strengths did I rely on in that moment? What personal qualities or abilities came naturally to me? And importantly, how did I feel using those strengths? After you've reflected, write it down. And don't type it. There's something different when we write something down with our hands. Write down a brief description of the moment and the strengths that you identified or the ones that came to you as you mentally replayed it. You could either do this in a journal or just any sort of piece of paper that you can keep track of. Step number 4 is to pick 2 or 3 core strengths from that moment. Remember how I identified determination, patience, and resilience? There were so many more that I could have identified, but those were the strongest for me. Maybe for you, it's perseverance, empathy, creativity, or something else. Sit with those strengths and reflect on how they've shown up in other areas of your life. And lastly, step 5, think about how you can consciously tap into those strengths more in your life. What would change if you leaned on those natural abilities more intentionally? Thank you for doing that exercise. I know it'll be beneficial if you really take the time to reflect and dive deep on your strengths. Finding your strengths may just seem like a good idea, and it will stay as that if you don't reflect and write it down. I want you to think more about the future. How can your strengths help you navigate challenges or pursue your dreams? Strengths often manifest in different areas of our life, professionally, in relationships, in parenting, and even in hobbies. Sometimes we forget that the same strength can appear in many different forms and ways. I know I'm guilty of not being able to extrapolate. I seem to experience something in isolation without applying it to other areas where it could really benefit my life. I want to guide you through a little strength assessment. We will just do a few strengths, and I want you to rank how often you use them. You can do this mentally or on the same piece of paper you've been using. We're going to start with empathy. On a scale of 1 to 5, how often do you feel like you're using empathy in your day-to-day life? 1 meaning you rarely use it, 5 meaning you use it all the time. Next is creativity. Again, on a scale of 1 to 5. It's easy to let some of these strengths atrophy. I know with my creativity, it often goes on the back burner because it doesn't seem like there's enough time to pursue creative activities. However, it's the opposite. The more we pursue creativity or empathy, the more time and ourselves will get back. Next, leadership. How often do you feel like you're a leader in your day-to-day life? Two more. Perseverance. How often are you persevering every day? And lastly, resilience. On a scale from 1 to 5, how often do you feel like you're using resiliency? The ability to bounce back. A lot of times as mothers, we're working to instill these strengths and values and whatever else we have going on into our children, but we forget to work on them ourselves. The last exercise I have for you today before reading my book is a strength affirmation exercise. I want you to create a personal affirmation or mantra using your top strengths or strengths that you really hope to develop and bring back to your life. For example, you could say, I am creative and resilient, and I trust my ability to navigate challenges. Oh, do you feel the power in that? I love that. We are tying our strengths to our response to how we are approaching life. I encourage you to stick these affirmations where you might see them, on your mirror, above your light switch, in your pocket, whatever you need to keep affirming those strengths within you. As we wrap up, remember, the strengths you identified today are a powerful part of who you are. You took the time to reflect on moments of pride and you recognize the qualities that helped you achieve them. Doing this can help you intentionally use them to shape your future. Whether it's within your career, relationships, personal growth, or anything else, embracing these strengths will guide you towards a greater sense of fulfillment and resilience. Challenge yourself this week to lean into those strengths consciously. It's hard to do, but reflect on how they show up in different areas of your life. Maybe create a little tracker and think about how the impact could be greater if you fully embrace them. And don't forget to create that personal affirmation to remind you of those strengths as you move forward. You have everything within you to navigate challenges and pursue your dreams. Trust in your abilities and let your strengths guide the way. If you're tuning out, thank you for joining me. And if not, here is Chapter 1, Divine Genius, Soil. Nutrients are strengths. Ruth Schwenk said, "Too often we compare our weakness with other people's strengths, only to find ourselves coming up short." The first applied step in a garden is testing the soil. Testing your soil is like checking a recipe before cooking. It helps you make sure you have all the right ingredients for your plants to thrive. A soil test can offer insights into fertility, health, and suitability for growth. I will be walking you through how to test your soil's nutrients, your strengths. In the past, I didn't understand how my strengths applied to real-life situations beyond that of a job. The talents and competencies I had developed in my personal life seemed unrelated to the challenges and responsibilities of being a wife, mother, and member of society. There were moments of happiness throughout my life, but even existing is an intense job, so those moments were easy to miss. When I am enjoying life, it is because I am utilizing my strengths and innate talents. This leads to enriched soil. The more nutrients that are cycled into soil, the more fertile the ground will become. One day, my therapist had me think about a time when I felt like I was on top of the world. A time when I felt true joy, felt most like myself, and things were going my way. What came to mind was the first year of college. I felt like I had a blank slate that I could portray myself in any way I chose. I had a little bit of responsibility, but a lot of newfound freedom. I made a lot of new friends, and it was a very exciting time in my life. Normally, we think about identity formation happening only in adolescence. However, every life change can necessitate a reevaluation of who we are. No wonder I felt on top of the world during my first year of college. This was a peak time of discovering who I was. And I would add a time to use my strengths. I had a similar experience nearly 10 years and 3 kids later. Motherhood was when I began another identity journey. Many people have called these experiences identity crises. We can replace the word crisis with journey. What brought you to identity exploration? There are many paths to a singular destination. The question in my mind during motherhood identity exploration was, what is a good mom anyway? I used to nebulously strive to be a good mom, wandering around and getting nowhere. As information has become more accessible, societal programming has increased. We absorb what other people are doing and often use it against ourselves. We research and question, and we compare what we're doing against what others are doing, which then creates guilt. Societal pressure can cause you to feel like you have to be a contortionist, conforming into the shape of every stereotype. However, it's a rare baseball player who is equally good at every position. Why should a natural third baseman labor to develop his skills as a right fielder? That's from How to Play to Your Strengths, Harvard Business Review. When you play to your strengths, you thrive within your sphere of influence. The way you decide to be is your business alone. No one will do it exactly the same way you do. If you follow your intuition instead of societal programming, you will be the member of society you are meant to contribute as, the partner someone looks up to, and the mother your children need. No two snowflakes are alike. so why should two people be alike? The paths you choose in life create a journey tailored for your growth and for the growth of those around you. There are many environments that are ideal conditions for growth. When I would hear someone share what they do personally or in their home, my immediate habit was to judge it against what I was doing. I would think, oh no, I should be doing it that way. What if that is the best way to do it? What if I'm doing it wrong? As I've slowed down, I am able to check in personally, thus interrupting the pattern of comparison. I note what feels right for me and my situation, and I remember to follow the advice of Emily P. Freeman to stop collecting gurus. For example, different approaches to managing screen time and fostering learning in children can lead to feelings of guilt and doubt in parenting decisions, even when the chosen method is thoughtfully balanced and tailored to the child's needs. One mother may limit screen time to educational games and TV shows and balance this with reading books and outdoor activities. Another mother may emphasize minimal screen time and place a heavy focus on reading. The former, despite seeing the positive impact and enjoyment her child derives from his screen time, feels guilty and worries she should be encouraging more reading. Comparisons can undermine a parent's confidence in their well-considered choices. Living externally in alignment with your internal strengths, living as your authentic self, will not only boost your confidence and effectiveness, but will also open the door to discovering your divine genius, the unique talents and insights that set you apart and drive your purpose. When you learn to let go of all that doesn't serve you, often societal pressure, you are able to channel your energy into a singular internal focus. There is a portion of the divine genius within you. Some refer to it as their calling or life's purpose. What it really comes down to is an ability that comes naturally, the essence of your soul. Can you choose a title that reflects that? Whether your fulfillment comes from within the home or without, you can reframe your responsibilities in a way that ignites your energy instead of extinguishing it. Divine genius is your ground. Healthy soil is crucial in supporting life. When you have a good environment from which to grow, you are more resilient to the external impacts that may present themselves. When you have a different title as your starting point, you can be reminded of the other identifiers and purposes you have. It's discouraging to feel depleted before you even begin your day. I prefer the title of office manager as my role in the home. It takes the pressure off my mom title so that I can show up for the nurturing and connective moments when they arise. Motherhood feels so vast and unknown. Office manager seems more concrete and doable in my mind. I'm able to view it as a defined role with actionable tasks. For you, office manager may sound terrible. That's because it's not the right fit for you. Maybe you enjoy more of an activity coordinator role, or you prefer mentoring. The point is to recognize what fills you up, and then you can do that within your home. It can be part of your enriched soil. You may notice some big boulders or obstacles that need to be dealt with before your soil is ready for planting. In Chapter 9, we will talk about removing those obstacles. If you're having a hard time identifying your divine genius, your natural strengths and abilities, re-listen to the beginning of this episode or consider using the Reflected Best Self RBS exercise found in the article How to Play to Your Strengths. The Reflected Best Self exercise is a powerful way to see your strengths in a different light. During the RBS exercise, you'll reach outward and compile and condense feedback from people who have seen you at your best in varying stages of your life, both personal and professional. Ask those who are closest to you to name the strengths they see in you. Review the information and use it as an indication of a title that could be a better fit for you in your current role at work, in a relationship, as a mother, or in a volunteer position. If it's a fit, spend some time praying, meditating, or journaling as a way to help you identify your strengths. Having a fertile ground is the first step to ensuring a healthy, thriving garden. Your title can change over time, depending on your growing season. You may recognize the need to adjust your role according to a change in responsibilities. If you want to choose a new role, start by naming a few of your strengths. Then convert those into a title. This is how you name your divine genius. Don't get too caught up in choosing the right one. Test a couple and see how they feel as your divine genius or divine ground. I'll just read a few of these in the table. There's quite a few examples, or you can ask ChatGPT. Planning, organizing, and scheduling as your strengths. Architect of the future. Teaching, mentoring, asking open-ended questions. A soul coach or a life coach. Engaging in creative play, imaginative activities, and artistic expression. A creativity cultivator. Telling stories, sharing traditions, connecting with ancestors. Heritage keeper. Embodying humor, joy, playfulness, and an ability to create fun memories. Joy bringer. Teaching financial literacy, encouraging responsibility, instilling work ethic. Future financier. Leading nature exploration, environmental awareness, and outdoor activities. Nature guide. And then there's a place to name your new title. I am inviting you to think about how important it is to know and nurture your innate strengths. Imagine your values as seeds as you're planting in your own garden. When you take the time to plant these seeds carefully, they take root and grow strong. By recognizing your strengths, you're creating a solid foundation for your personal growth and happiness. Each of your strengths is a part of what makes you unique. Embrace these natural abilities and let them guide you. Whether you find joy inside the home or out in the world, framing your responsibilities in a way that excites you will help you thrive. Take a moment to think about how you can bring your strengths and values into every part of your life. When you do this, you not only feel better yourself, but you also positively affect those around you. Remember, your garden is yours to care for, and the seeds you plant with love and intention will grow into something beautiful. As you go forward, keep checking in with yourself and making changes as needed. Stay committed to your growth and let your core values lead the way. Your life's garden is a testament of your amazing potential, and with each season, you have the chance to bloom even more. Here is a bloom tip. We're already so hard on ourselves. If we see motherhood or any other role as too enormous to aspire to, we'll want to quit when we've barely started. Without a concrete idea of where we're going, we won't know when we've arrived. Define what motherhood looks like for you so you know when you've reached your ideal. And I just want to end by saying that empowered mothers empower their children. And by doing this work for yourself, you are positively impacting generations. Thank you for doing the hard work. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Let Yourself Bloom, where we embrace the beauty of balancing motherhood and ambition. I hope today's episode has inspired you to nurture your dreams while being the incredible mom that you are. Remember, it's not just about finding balance, it's about thriving in all aspects of your life. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women. And if you're the kind of person who loves to watch podcasts, you can find this podcast on my YouTube channel at LetYourselfBloom_ with Jen Banks, or on the Ride the Wave Media Podcast Network YouTube channel. Remember to stay connected with us on social media at LetYourselfBloom_ with Jen Banks, and join our community to keep blooming together. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep growing.